I'm not gonna be rolling no more, man. Right now.
My flies are bad.
Yeah, it's way too hot.
Don, I wish y'all would try to figure a way to go.
Well, what date is that again?
1st of July, and we'll leave the day before and be there Saturday at noon. And
now, what do you mean by visa? I don't even know what that is.
That's a visa to get your papers to go in there.
Yeah.
You just ask the council, Mexican council. Just call them and tell them you're going to go to Monterey for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you we'll come down and we'll give you a visa. And you have to have your birth certificate.
Yeah.
To prove you're American citizen.
Right.
And so he don't want to have his dog shot at nothing, so I'll take a brindle dog from here, from my house, and get the health papers on him and give them to him.
Yeah.
See, to keep him, so that way he's carried over as a pet. And brought back, well, what you been doing? You don't ask you what you been doing, but if they say, I come in and cut out, well, they've been hunting, because that's a great sporting country.
Yeah.
And they don't give a shit. But
what dogs y'all got matched down there?
we just got one. I couldn't work this town dog. He wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Not unless him. And I wouldn't know if I was up or nothing. I just called him back.
Well, I'm going to have 3 matches is all on in August. The last of August, the 25th of August. It'll be a Saturday night or Sunday morning. And I'll know for sure, in about 2 days ahead of time, 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. If it's going to be at night or in the morning.
Why don't you make it in November and put you up a show?
Well, Morris, I really don't want to fool with the show. And I'm helping Jimmy get one together for the end of October. And then Ed's getting one, at the end of September. And I thought I'd help him out some. Try to get something together, and I just put on 3 little old matches here in August, the end of August.
I cleared from my ass pocket $2,000.
Is that right?
I cleared from my ass pocket.
Oh, that's good.
And give everybody $125.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good deal.
I give old Garman a pretty nice little trophy.
Yeah, damn sure did.
Old Garman.
Oh, he's a dandy, ain't he?
Oh, God.
Oh, he's a dandy. Thad, this dog is kind of falling to pieces on me and looks bad.
Which
one? The big red dog I got Petronelli. And I go out there and I find him eating nothing but shit. He'll shit and within 5 minutes he'll eat it.
That's a vice.
That's what?
That's a vice, a bad habit.
Yeah, but will that make him go to kind of looking bad?
Yeah.
That's what I figured. I'm going to have to put him up in a pen, keep it clean.
Yeah.
Now this is very much what I was talking about as the match continues on and on and on. See, we was talking about the Tombstone dog. And at this time, I knew Maurice and Bobby Hall was close. Of course, Maurice was close with everybody that I was matched into, to the part of where you never knew where Maurice was at. Never knew exactly where he was at, where he had his money at. But at the same time, you can almost bet sure that when you tell him something like that, and he's talking to whoever you're matched into, he's going to tell them about it. In other words, there's such a thing as sort of telling people things that you want them to tell someone else. And that part that I was just telling Maurice, that had just about as much con, had as much con and bullshit in it as it could have. Tombstone was doing real good all the way through his keep. I had him in a nice pen built up off the ground. And I was sure enough keeping him, I had him cleaned out. I had him in the very best of health, being matched into Bobby Hall and Bully Son Jr. at the time when this conversation was going on. But I would be conning and lying and matched into Maurice in a way of knowing that the word was going to be passed on. In other words, and it was going to, get into the other count. This was at a time when I was matching into all of the Bully Son bred dogs. That was the level of outcrossing that was in their family at the time when they came along. Was that it was they was bred fairly close to the purest family through the true breeding of Eli. And Eli was bred close to the purest family bred on Earl Tudor's yard. Then Bully Son came from a very wild cross, a very outcross breeding that was made with Eli to Floyd Boudreaux's Spook bitch, which the breeding of Spook, which was Scrub and Blind Billy and those dogs, is like they're bred of unknown bred dogs. Floyd Boudreaux never knew the true breeding of those dogs that came in there by way of J.T. Collier. Now, they was pretty sure they was bred out of Collier's yard, but he never was able to get the exact true breeding of the dog, that Blind Billy dog. In later years, he put Earl Tudor pedigree on him. Him and Greenwood did, but at the time, they was never able to get the true breeding of that Blind Billy dog, and all those dogs showed very different than the very pure families from Earl Tudor's yard. They was very different. I got a video number 17 that shows the dogs on J.T. Collier's yard in 1960, and they very much, all of those dogs look very much the same as the Blind Billy dog, the Scrub dog, and the Spook bitch. All of those dogs look very much like those dogs that's on video number 17 that's on J.T. Collier's yard. And then also on that video number 17 are the dogs on Maurice Carver's yard in 1960. And also the dogs on my yard in 1960s. And these videos and audios are, like I say, they're very much a power of being able to really see and understand some truth proving, to the part of where you can understand it when you have it explained. You can see pictures of those dogs like Blind Billy and Spook and Scrub and those dogs that's bred of those that basically around Boudreaux's Blind Billy dog. And you can see these dogs on J.T. Collier's yard, and you can just see the same family of dogs in them. And that's the way it is when you get to the part of being able to understand breeding and understand the way the different families is bred. You'll be able to understand each family had its own characteristics that it showed, and regardless of how the pedigrees showed that the different people put on them. But see, Bully Son, that family of dogs that was built around Bully Son and Eli Jr., which was Art, and a number of different dogs was bred around that outcrossing of Tudor's very pure families from that crybaby bitch, which was Eli's dame. And then the other dog that was real heavy Tudor bred with a Covina cross in it. Those was real, that crybaby bitch was a very pure family bred bitch bred out of Earl Tudor's yard, Joe Covina's yard, of the very purest families. And it was outcrossed to that more outcrossed scatterbred stuff that J.T. Collier had that was bred down from the Feely dogs. But they had more outcrossing in them, where Tudor's families bred down from the Feely dogs, they were more pure family bred. But Collier's dogs, you can study the records and the breeding of J.T. Collier's dogs, and you can see where his families was much more outcross bred than the families of Feely dogs that Earl Tudor had. Earl Tudor's Feely families was very pure family bred. J.T. Collier's was much more outcross bred, but they was basically bred from the same purest family of the Feely dogs from the generations before. this is pretty much the same way all the different families in the game become bred. And as you learn this and be able to understand this about breeding and learn how all the different families are kin to one another and how they've all been outcross bred from the purest family at their time when the outcrosses was first made. And then the most proven families in the game become bred back to the more pure stuff. The more pure stuff. And the purest bred families have always, throughout the history of the game, the purest bred families and the families bred from the purest bred families has always been the most proven families within the Corps. And this is true, but you've got to be able to get an understanding of breeding to be able to understand this and how to read it on the pedigrees. But this is what the game is about. It's learning the different, how the different families of dogs was bred, and learning. It's a constant match. It's constant con and trying to prove the truth, regardless of who you're matched into, and you're matched within everybody that you have any dealings with within the game dog game. That's the character of the individualist and the individuality nature of game dogs and the people that have interest in game dogs. We're not exactly the kind of people who are the same character of people who have interest in racing horses or flying pigeons or gamecocks or racing dogs or whatever. That man plays with animals. Man, has a lifestyle around animals. And we are of a much higher level of individualism. And as you learn and understand breeding, you'll be able to understand this. And to be able to learn and understand the way the different families of game dogs has been bred here in America, learn the way they've been proven, really study and understand the understanding of the game, and relate that over to being able to understand the way yourself has been bred. It's like this is a very strong part of life, to be able to understand the way an individual has been bred throughout their heritage, how your